like I said, if I know it, we normally do Sunday nights, and this is Monday night. April and I just got back from the beach. We had a good time over at the beach, and Rob and Summer on short notice were able to do tonight. So here we are. And let me I have a couple slides. I just want to make a few announcements and then get right to it. Okay, so okay, obviously, as everybody knows, Dallas is just a couple days away. Okay, we'll be arriving on Thursday night. Is is that well, the leadership training's in the afternoon, then the doctor's presentation is in the evening. And other than that, it's a night off to hang with your team. But there's still some tickets available. I don't know if the company has any left, but there's some available that unfortunately some consultants are not able to attend, and they've made their tickets available. So anybody that has anyone last minute that wants to attend, 99 and 9/10% sure you can get a ticket. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The people offering the tickets are on Facebook, and we can help you find it if you need it. Okay, as we said last week when we did our opportunity Zoom, or our, once or twice a month, we do a live opportunity Zoom for the team. So the next one is Wednesday night after we get back from Dallas. Okay, so the invites are already in the group. You can help yourself to those, and the live link is in the group too. But it'll be Wednesday night, the 29th, 8:30 Eastern. It's always 8:30 Eastern, and the Zoom number is always the same. Okay, but you got one there with the number and one without. And now we get to the good stuff. Okay, so I think my announcements was less than 1 minute. I just want to share this with you. It's really refreshing, and April and I have talked about this often ever since we first met Rob and Summer. Just how real they were, just honest and real and matter of fact. And it's something that sometimes in this industry is missing a little bit. And we just love, but their honesty, their passion, and their energy is just priceless. I mean, this is a couple that is just all heart, and they wear it on their sleeves. It's, what you see is what you get. But the one thing I want to make sure everybody understands, anytime you go to the leaderboards, they're either on top or number one or two, and their teammates are filling up the leaderboards in all the different ranks. And that tells me all I need to know. Number one, they lead by example. Okay, they don't just preach and then watch. Okay, they preach and then they outperform anyone that's willing to challenge them on their team. That's pure leadership. Okay, and April and I admire that to no end. I mean, we just love that. So we are very much looking forward to seeing them in Dallas, but even more so, hanging out for 3 or 4 days in Bahamita in Mexico, and really just kind of getting a chance to, and Rob Summer, I'm so excited you're going to spend some time with Kenneth and Annette, and also Deanne and her husband Wayne, and they're new to the business and they made the trip. So, but without any further ado, I am going to stop the share. And let me make sure that you are, let's see, a co-host.
There you go.
Okay, and it is all yours, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. We love you guys and really appreciate it. So it's all yours.
Likewise. Yeah, go ahead, babe.
It's such an honor, and it's so humbling, you guys, to be on this call with all of you. I can't even believe when Rob told me that he got a text, I was like, what? No way could these.
Well, let me share this, Summer. It was April's idea. When April gets an idea, then she says, would you do, it's a honey-do thing, it's honey. It's like, would you do?
Yeah, Knuckles, Bob, Knuckles, like they're the brains, and I sometimes I pretend I'm Ron. Right?
Go ahead, Summer, but it was
But
April's
April,
idea.
I've got to figure this out because so you ask Bob to do something and then he does it.
Yeah,
That doesn't
most of
work
the time.
that doesn't work like that in my household. I tell him what to do and then he still does and does whatever it is he's going to go do. I have a little girl that's like that too, and a dog. So if you could tell me and teach me how to do that, oh my gosh, that would make it so much easier for me.
That's right.
I love you. But well, thank you again. It's such an honor because it takes one to know one. 100%. Bob and April, you guys, they lead by example. They have set the bar for this company. And I'm grateful to even have the chance. You're only going to get me probably a little bit. We have Gabriella, who is 7, in the shower. And at any minute, she's going to be screaming, Mom. And that's just how that's going to go. And Rob can help wrap up. But just a little bit about our story. And I'm just going to share some things that I'm really passionate about. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. This is just what lights my fire every single day. But I was a medical device rep. We were living in Montana. I'd been divorced, lost all my friends, had no children in my mid to late 30s, and I was burnout. Anybody experience burnout on this call? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever experienced burnout, because I did not know what I was going to do. I knew I had something in my gut that was telling me that I was meant for more. But society and my family and so many things had told me that I am not worth anything. And I was tired of that. Whoever society is should just be fired. Okay. So I was tired of listening to them, but I didn't know how to get out of these systems that don't serve us any longer. But so many people come in and out of that and they just stay in there because it's comfortable and that's all they know. They're not willing to get uncomfortable until they get comfortable and to just, what if? What if? And I was on my hands and knees, hoping, wishing, wanting, praying for something to come in my life. My body was failing. I was working 80, 90 hours a week. I'm taking away every single excuse that you have right now. I have 80, 90 hours a week, traveling 4 states, living in Montana. So I had the largest geographical territory, running over a $200 million territory. And I was drinking 10 to 15 cups of coffee just to get myself out of bed in the morning. And then here's the smoking hot man that shows up in my life and who's my husband. And I love him and I adore him so much, except I got to figure out the secret sauce that April has. I have so much to learn. I have so much to learn. And now hold on. I wouldn't trade him for the world. I respect and adore and love this man so much because he saw LifeVantage just a few weeks before we met. Things happen for a reason and people come in your life for a reason. And I'm grateful that he did not prejudge my circumstances because he didn't really know a lot of what I was going through, except he did know that my company almost laid me off. And in a 12-hour period, they laid off 273 people. And like that, hey, guess what? If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. And I was making well over a 6-figure income living in Montana. So I was looking and I was open. Was I looking for this? No. Did I even know what this was? Nope. But I saw an ABC primetime report. I saw, that's your cue.
I got him.
There you go.
I got her.
Okay. Hey, we can do this. You guys can do this. Have you ever seen us on a corporate call when I get hit in the forehead with a ball? This is why corporate doesn't ask us to do anything anymore because I'm either she's running around naked or I get hit. This is real life. And Bob, you're right. What you see is what you get. Why would I try to be somebody else? Why would I pretend that I'm somebody that I'm not? So you either like me or you don't. And okay. So it's just how it goes. Thanks, babe. I appreciate you. Once again, the greatest man in the world. And now I forgot what I was telling you because she distracted me. So anyway, when Rob shared that ABC primetime report, and then he told me and showed me, and it wasn't from him. He brought in a third party, happened to be a presidential at that time, to talk to me, and she gave me 45 minutes of her time. It blew me away because she was making almost in a month, almost what I was making in a year. And she was giving me 45 minutes of her time. And then she was explaining to me about leveraged income and a compensation plan. I was a medical device rep. I know compensation plans. And I saw this and I thought, holy smokes, this is amazing. What if I threw my credit card at Rob? I said, I'm in. I don't know what I'm in and I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm in. I don't want to miss this. We're sitting on a pivotal point right now, right here, you guys, with LifeVantage, with the acquisition that's coming. Dallas is going to be off the charts. This has never happened in the history of LifeVantage. And I'm just so excited. I have goosebumps all over, even in my fleece jacket. Goosebumps because of what we're sitting on right now. We are the best kept secret, and we will not be a best kept secret very much longer. Very much longer. It is time to get excited about what we have here. I saw this 9 years ago. 22 months later, I walked away from a well over six-figure income. The little girl screaming, Dad, over there was born. I walked away from my job. I haven't had a job in 7.5 years, you guys. This is possible. It's real. But we didn't know we were watching. We were enrolling people. We were like, our hair was on fire. And we were just sharing and caring for people. I've never sold or convinced people. I tried that. It doesn't work. Okay. So I just started to care about people instead of looking at it as myself wanting to get the heck out of corporate America. Yesterday, heck out of corporate America. I wanted to get the out of, like, I needed oxygen. They almost took everything away from me. I can't go back there and put a smile on my face. Like Bob said, I wear my emotions right here. Actually, it's right here. I might act cool, calm, and collected, but then my face says, you're an idiot. And I don't know how to fix that, so I can't lie. I've been told that since I was little, because it's right there on my face. But what we found, we were enrolling people like crazy, but we could not figure out like why nobody was duplicating what we were doing. Because we were enrolling a whole bunch of people, like we were like this, but we weren't like this. Width for wealth, depth for security. And we met a gentleman by the name of Marcel Niederhauser, who helped teach us principles and behaviors on what we needed to do. And we just copied what he did. You guys, we just stayed consistent. You got to do this every day. You have to rip off the Band-Aid. Every day, do something positive for your business. Not be like a popcorn fart. And one day you're sharing it with 5 people, and the next day you do nothing and nothing and nothing. And oop, it's Thursday. Oh, I got to reach out to a couple more people. Do something. Like I tell people, even just one person a day consistently, because that's where the magic's going to happen. You don't have to try to get your courage and your confidence up when you can just keep doing it in the nooks and crannies every single day. So we started grabbing hold of our people. And we started doing it together. That's why you see so many people in our tribe that's on the leaderboards, because we do it together as a group. We don't go, okay, now you guys go do it. Bob and April, they're an example so much of let's care about people and let's bring them in. They're not just going out and living their life without being available to all of you. And I'm sure that if you reached out to them, oh my gosh, I bet that they would reach back out to you right away. They would say, yes, we'd be more than happy to help. What a great example right there. And so we did that. We started teaching people how to invite, and then we would share it together with people. And then we would just continue, instead of them worrying about steps 4, 5, and 6, we said, put a person in a chair. And then we started teaching them that way by doing, not by theory. Not by theory, but because we are doing it, we're not better than anybody else. We're not better than the brand new person. We just have more experience. That's the only difference on how we've led our team, and it's 100% by example. We will never say, oh, you should be in Dallas, and we're not going, or we're not registered. The second that registration link is open for Vegas, we're going to be registered. It's a race for us on how are we going to get registered before our team? Because I can't tell anybody to register if we're not already registered. It's just an integrity thing. It's just an integrity.
Did you just slip and tell us we're going to Vegas next?
Oh, well, yeah, they posted that, so I could
April.
tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's on my birthday.
Yeah, it's April.
It's on my birthday.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
thank you all for coming to Vegas to celebrate my birthday.
Awesome.
That is so cool. I'm really excited about that. I appreciate that. April 17th, just in case you didn't know. So now you know. Friday. Rob's like, oh my gosh, our house is going to be, we now live in Vegas. This is our first convention in 9 years that it's going to be where we live. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. But once we got going on and this, you guys, our why was really, really big. The reason why, our sense of urgency was massive. Because if you have a sense of urgency, you're going to get more stuff done in a short period of time, but with being cool, calm, and collected. That sense of urgency, because people say, well, I need to figure out how to manage time. You can't manage time. Good luck, best of luck, but you can manage your activity. Manage your activities. Before you go to bed at night, write down what you're going to do, and then the next morning, execute. Execute what the people you're going to reach out to, or the business activities that you have the night before, and then in the morning, that's how we did it. He was working 100 hours a week. I was working 80, 90 hours a week. Like, that's ridiculous how this even worked for us. But we did in a short period of time. And that's that mindset and that mind shift to do that. But our why started to evolve over time. 22 months later, we got what we were looking for. I got closer to 50 than I am 40, and I've never felt better in my life. And we have a 7-year-old. That's insane, people. That is absolutely insane. And she's not a grandchild. She is our own little. He will be president of the United States by age 10. You are welcome. And holy moly, what I could tell you about that. But your why starts to evolve the longer that you're involved in this. And if your why, and it's not like one of those, I always hear this, your why has to make you cry. No, your why has to make you move.
Yep.
It's not about crying. I got mad because emotions drive me, but crying emotions don't drive me. Anger drives me. I used it for good. People go, oh gosh, it's so negative connotation. No, it's not. Anger is good when it's used for good. And our vision is so much higher. And then I'm going to pass this over to Rob, but our vision is so much higher because LifeVantage, okay, LifeVantage is just your distribution center. They don't tell you what to do. They don't employ you. Should not teach you how to build your business. They are unrecord.
Yeah, well,
That usually
Oh,
that's
you're
Rob.
you're singing to the choir.
Okay.
One of the first principles, Summer, we learned was the company does two things. And this is our first company. This wasn't like Van. They ship your product and they send your check. Everything else is on you.
Woo!
That's it.
100%. 100%.
So we learned that way.
Yay. Okay. Whew. There, I got a little like stuff. Okay. They are your global distribution center, my friends. They don't tell you really anything, okay? You don't, okay, I'm getting down a rabbit hole. But LifeVantage is just my vehicle to be able to create and do the things that we want to do in our life. And when we lock arms together, where the strangers become friends and friends become family, we can go out and change the world. Have you guys ever seen some injustices that are happening in this world and you get defeated because you go, I'm only one person? Have you ever felt like that before? I'm telling you, this is our higher vision. This is my higher vision. So, and the reason why I'm going to share this with you is because maybe some of you need permission to think bigger, faster. Dream bigger, faster, and it's okay to be bold, and it's okay to be brave, and it's okay to step out. You are not meant to fit in. You are not meant to fit in, but you belong. Okay, so this is just my higher vision, but I would get defeated of all these injustices that are happening in this world, and there's 3 of them that really make me mad. And I can use LifeVantage to help change. But first, I have to change. And then I just share. Have you guys heard of a flash mob? Is that what those things are called? Where it's like one person's dancing, and then all of a sudden you have is that what it's called? A flash mob? I don't know why I'm kind of.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's 100 or 200. Yeah.
There's 200, right? So if I can empower people and develop leaders, if I can get them right here, we can make a change. And the first change is I cannot stand our disease management system. Now, see, now we might need to stop recording again. Or you're going to have to fix your group when we're done. But the disease management system, I'm tired. Remember, I was in it, you guys. I was asking a lot of questions that I didn't like the answer to. Okay, I think I'm in the right group that I could tell you this. If I could help people, we're the only activation company in the world. What happens if I could help people turn on their bodies to do what it was designed to do? What happens if people's bodies could start healing itself? Maybe they didn't need to go into the disease management system, which is actually a business because it's about money and power. It's not about people. Here, it's about people. What if I could change that? Guess what? It's working. People are starting to look for alternatives. It's working. What if our financial system, where Uncle Sam, who's not my uncle, is taking so much money in people's paychecks? What happens if I could teach people not only to get their products paid for first, to keep them out of disease management, and then I could help keep some money in people's pockets, not only so they could afford these products, but so then they could pay their mortgage and holidays are coming up, so they have a little extra income, whatever that looks like for them. And then what happens if I could bring families together to raise their own kids? That little girl has no idea what it's like to be without her parents. She has zero idea of what it's like to be without her parents. Now, sometimes we divide and conquer because this is the most important, purposeful thing I've ever done in my life. What is your passion? What is your purpose? This is what gets me up every single morning. Clearly, I'm excited because I love this so much, you guys. This is how we talk every day to people. What if we could start to make a change in these families' lives? This is not about us. It's not about you. So you got to look in the mirror and go, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. And make that phone call. Because what if you share and care for people and you play this much of a role? Now, I can't do it for them, but I can do it with them. This much of a role in changing the trajectory of somebody's life. The ripple effect is turning into a tidal wave. My friends, don't miss out on this opportunity. It is right here in front of you. You can do that with this. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I'm not just well, it doesn't matter because this is what I'm passionate about and what we do every single day. We can really change the world. If I can't change the world, I know I can change the world for multiple families. And we've done that. And we're not done yet. And neither should you guys. Okay. I got to go get jammies and brush hair and all that type of stuff. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We're solving big problems. Guess what? Big leaders have big vision. Big leaders have big vision. You're welcome. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to squeeze you guys in Dallas. Mwah! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to be a mom. Love you.
Thanks, Dave. That was awesome. Hey guys, you can imagine living with that every day, 24/7. It's pretty dang exciting. I always kind of start when I get up, guys. I am unbelievably super confident. And the reason why is because I've failed so many times in my life at things. I grew up in a family. I was a single mom. I was adopted. And there's days I didn't eat growing up. I grew up in a little tiny town in Montana, 6,500 people. It was a mining community. I fought all the time. The local police department got a hold of my mother and said, you need to do something with your son. About 4 or 5 years old, I was getting in fights every day at school because people would tease me. I was the smallest kid and we were the poorest family. And remember the Gur Animal clothing that you used to get at Kmart? Remember Gur Animals? Yeah, Debbie's going, yeah. Well, that was me, Deb. I wore Gur Animals, but they were hand-me-down Gur Animals. Can you imagine being a little boy wearing the green crocodile stuff? Or the blue? Yeah, that was me. And I got teased all the time. And I was small, and I'd just fight. At the drop of a hat, I'd fight. I was always the smallest because I figured if I got in the first shot, somebody would break it up before they killed me, right? And so that was my mindset. Well, the police department called my mom and said, you need to do something with your kid. He's going to end up in juvenile detention or probation, or he's going to be in prison by the time he's 18. So they made me wrestle. They started me wrestling, and I excelled. I was a 2-time state wrestling champion at 98 pounds.
Wow.
I was it was the lightest weight class. I was 98-pound state champion wrestler junior and senior year. I was 5'2" when I graduated from high school at 98. Now I'm about 170 and I'm 5'8.5". So I literally grew over 6 inches. I went through puberty after I went to college. I went through puberty in college. Like the first time I shaved, I was a sophomore in college. I was like, I was late, I guess a late bloomer. and always being teased all the time, even when I was that small in college. And I was kind of like Summer. I was always the one that nobody ever, the girls in high school didn't date me. Even though I was a state champion wrestler, I was 98 pounds. They dated the football players and the basketball players. They were my friends, but they'd never go to the prom with Rob or anything like that. And so kind of like Summer, guys, when I went to college, I ended up with a chemistry degree. I never used it, not one day. And then I went into medicine. I ended up getting when I got done with medicine, the state of Montana hired me to run the medical department at their state prison facility. And in 1991, I was in a riot and I watched 5 people get murdered right before my eyes. I was in maximum security when the riot broke out. And a lot of the majority of the Indian population that were in that prison protected me. While I was watching people getting murdered, the Indians kind of stood in front of me and protected me. They called me the kid. I was just fair. I tried to treat people like if I was in there, and that's because I didn't know how to really judge because I was judged my whole life. And I promised I'd never do that. And so I finished that. And then a kid I wrestled with in college was a U.S. Marshal out in Portland, Oregon. And he called me one day and he said, "Hey, Rob, you know what? The FBI is creating a position out here in Portland. It's a new position. You have to have tactical training," which I had all of that, but you have to have a medical background because it was kind of an undercover position and you needed a medical background for it. And I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And so I went out and I applied. 300 people got interviewed and I got the job, which blew me away. I was still pretty young. And they sent me to Quantico, so I was down at Quantico. They also sent me to Glencoe, Georgia, at that federal training facility because of what I was doing. I was working with all kinds of outside entities, Border Patrol, Secret Service. Like I was working with a bunch of them. And so I was gone for about 3.5 months. And when I came back to Portland, there was an eviction notice on the front of my house on the door. And I had 3 little boys. And there was an eviction notice pasted right on my door. And I ripped that thing down and I went to the house and asked my wife, "What are you doing? What the heck?" Well, the money that we had saved when we moved out to Portland, she had spent it all of it, tens of thousands of dollars in 3 months. I don't know if there was much to show for it, but it was gone and she had not paid. And we were just renting at the time and she didn't pay rent for a couple months. And so what I did is I backed my truck up to our front door and I put the kitchen table and chairs that her parents had got us for our wedding, which was the most expensive things that we owned. And I went down into Portland. I went down to the first pawn shop I could find and I pawned those kitchen and table chairs off. And I paid for those 2 months rent that she never paid for. And I paid for a month ahead. And at the age of 28, I took control of my finances. I said, no one will ever dictate my financial situation ever. Everything is on me. 3 days later, my dad who adopted me got hit by a car and was killed in Montana. I quit the Justice Department. I moved home to take care of my mom, and I was home a week and I bought a business because I realized I got to be an entrepreneur. There is no way this medical background, this tech, none of it, it's not going to give me the kind of life that I want for my family. And I had big dreams, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. I knew working for somebody was never going to get me to fulfill those dreams. I knew that without a shadow of a doubt. And so I started reading. I was reading a book every couple of days on business, on finance, on investing. Like I just became a guru. Like I've read thousands of business books, you guys, and I got really, really good at it. I started buying businesses. I started companies. And so I literally have had 30 companies in about 25 years, and I've sold 29 of them. And a lot of most of my companies were multi-million-dollar companies. So when I saw this business 9 years ago, 13 years ago, you guys, my oldest son, DJ, died in my arms. I was holding him when he took his last breath. 13 years ago, I was hit by a car in Sacramento, California, walking across the street because I was doing seminars at a big outdoor show because I had a TV show at the time too. And I was doing seminars at a big outdoor show and I got hit by a car and was paralyzed from the waist down for 4 months. They didn't think I'd ever walk again. I've got 6 rods holding my spine together. And I was divorced after 19 years of marriage that same year. I mean, just my son dying, right, passing, was beyond devastating me. But then my wife asked me to divorce after 19 years, and all of that happening to me, I was making a lot of money, but I destroyed my family because I was never home. My kids hardly knew me. My son that died in my arms, he lived with me that year with me. He and his mom were going through divorce. He lived with me. He didn't want to be with her, which was strange because I was never home. I was never home, and so that 13 years ago was a big wake-up call for me. I got to figure something out. I bought some more companies in between then. before I saw this business, a month before I saw this business, I bought a laundry detergent company that was based out of Reno, Nevada. And their facility was kind of between Google and Tesla. There was two buildings, and I bought this company. I didn't know laundry detergent. Guys, I'll be honest, the only way that this is how I created wealth before I even got in this company. When I started my casinos, I knew people that owned casinos that were bigger and better, that had been doing it for a long time. I watched what they did and I copied them. When I started my clothing company, when I started my large detergent company, my real estate company, my construction company, my seamless rain getter, like all my companies, I found people that were bigger and better than me. I watched what they did and I copied them. So when I saw this business 9 years ago, a doctor shared this with me. I knew his daughter for a year. She never shared it with me, never talked to me about it. I'd never seen a product in her house, nothing. And she at the time would have been the equivalent of like an MC2 in this business. Never said anything to me. I was filming a TV show on the Smith River outside of Great Falls, Montana, and this big old dude with a cowboy hat and a belt buckle bigger than me come up the river on a horse. And he got off his horse and he started walking towards me. And my first thought was, man, I hope I didn't do something to tick this guy off, because he was a big guy and I was not a good person back then. I didn't like people. I didn't trust people. And I did not want to be around people. And that's pretty bad because I had over 400 employees. And I was angry, bitter, cynical. My middle son was starting to act like me, which broke my heart. But then he got his, my other two sons were college athletes. And so they didn't live where I lived, which is the best thing that happened to them, to get away from me. Right now, I've got an amazing relation. One just became an Army Ranger, 3 college degrees and a master's degree. So, Dad, I don't want to do. He's an Army Ranger now. Proud of my other son's a pretty big corporate exec with Nike, and he has another business. They're both at a level in this company where they make $500 or $600 a month, because that's all I built their business to. I told them I'm not going to build the whole thing for you. Right? I hate welfare. I go, if you want it, let's go earn it. I'm here for you. Summer's here for you, but it's not welfare. And so they both make about, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month, give or take. And so when this doctor approached me, he said, Rob, I got something that I really want you to be my business partner. Now, I didn't know who he was personally. Well, I didn't know him, but I knew who he was. He was in charge of continuing education for every doctor in the state of Montana. You guys, he held that position for about 17, 18 years. I knew who he was because when I was in medicine, he was in charge of continuing education. So I knew who he was. But I personally, in his practice, was in the top 1% in the United States. The only reason I even gave him the time of day, because I knew I was making way more money than him, is he had credibility. And I knew his daughter. That's it. Like if somebody would approach me for a business opportunity, most of the time I said, I don't have time for you, because that's the type of person I was. But he seemed happy and I was miserable. And it drove me nuts. Long story short, he put me on a call with another gentleman that was at a position in this company where you're making about 45, 50 grand a month. That guy got on a call with me, and he said one thing to me, and it changed my life. I don't know if this doctor could have got me in, because he was very low key, kind of come see, come saw. He was happy, but I like fire, especially in business. Like, man, come, let's go. And this Scott guy said something. This is what he said, guys, changed my life. He goes, Rob, listen, I'd love to have you as a business partner. Your medical background, that'd be a pretty big deal. But he goes, your business background, I've seen 2 products from 2 of your companies just in Cleveland, Ohio in the last couple of days. He goes, I know you're successful, dude, but and that's what he said. He goes, if you don't want to be my business partner, I could care less. I've made more money almost every month in this company since I've been a business partner. And guess what? I didn't even know you 5 minutes ago. Whew, man, that ticked me off when he said that. Like I had smoke coming out of my ears. I wanted to reach through the phone and pinch his little head off. And then he paused, and I was like I did not like him at all when he said that. But then about 30 seconds later, and this doctor's wife literally jaw opened up. We were sitting in a bar restaurant when I met these guys, and her mouth opened up and her chin hit the top of the buddy bar because they thought they lost me, and I want me as a business partner too, right? And they thought they lost me. But then he paused. He goes, Rob, but I do have one thing that I think you really want, and I honestly don't think you'll ever have. And I go, yeah, what's that? He goes, I got time. I do what I want, when I want, wherever I want, with where I want. You'll never be able to say that with over 400 employees, Rob. Matter of fact, you always say that with 2 employees, so good luck with that. Whew, that's the reason I joined the business. I go, oh man, I could care less about your product. I'll be honest with you, I could care less about your product. Money, I make more money than you, because this guy told me he'd make about 50,000. I go, I make way more than that. I didn't get into this business for money. I didn't get in this business for product. I got in this business because that gentleman was the first person in my entire life told me what I needed to hear instead of what I wanted to hear when I became an adult. I didn't like him for it, but I respect it. I thought, that guy will talk to me like that now. I respect that. That means he's kind of my friend. He wants to be my friend. He respects me enough to tell me the truth. That's why I joined. And I'm hardcore. Like I'm doing a meeting. Me and my wife, I do a presentation every Monday night at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and I have for 7 years, and I've never missed one. It doesn't matter if we're in Asia, if we're in Europe, if we're in South America. It doesn't matter. If I'm in a hotel, I get up at 2 in the morning. I do my. We've never missed it in 7 years. We are so consistent. We eat, breathe, and live consistency, you guys. And we, like Bob said, you guys, we lead by example. You know what impresses me, Bob and April, you know what impresses me the most about this call with you guys? And you know me, I'm a straight shooter. We have done these calls for probably 60 executives in this company in the last couple of years, especially when we went gold, right? And we're the only first golds in the world and only golds in the United States. We've done about 60. This is the largest team call that we've ever done. Now we have over 100 on it, but like I'm telling you, this is the largest, you guys. That tells me a lot about Bob and April. That you know, and this is when you don't record this, right? Because Marcel, I remember one time had me in front of about 20 executives, and he said, "Rob, just tell them the truth." Because I don't care if they like me. I could care less. Marcel can't talk down to me. Tyler can't talk down to me. I'll eat their lunch every day of the week. I'm that confident. I always tell people, don't let my confidence offend your insecurities, right? Because my confidence, because I failed so many dang times in life, but I just never quit. And me and Summer have gotten so steadfast. Now, I said something to Steve Fife. We were in Cancun on a VIP trip with a group that we're with. And Steve was in the room, and Marcel said, "Rob, come at these guys hard." Rob and Summer hammered him. And then I get up there, and I looked at Steve right in the eyes, and I go, "Dude, I could run this business better than you." And he sit back for a minute, and I go, "But it's my mindset. I believe I can. I believe I can enroll more people than everyone in this room." Like, that's just my mindset, guys, because growing up the way that I grew up, I had to program my mind that nobody could defeat me. Nobody could beat me because I was getting beat up every day. And so mindset, me and Summer focused so much on the mindset of our group. We've gotten people in our group, when we met them, they were living in their car, and now they're MC2s in this business. They were living in their car. We've got a gentleman that got out of prison for the third time. He was a month out of prison. We got him to MC2 in less than a year. We got his son back from the state of Montana because the state took his son away. I think we would even be way bigger in this business if we just focused on just good business people. But we love helping everybody. We love helping the guy that's got his butt beat in life, the people that get talked down to, that get like they don't think they'll amount. Me and Summer love helping people like that. We focus so much on the mindset. Every Saturday morning, we do a mindset training with our group for about an hour. We've been taught, but I feel by one of the best in the world in mindset. It's 125 grand to spend a weekend with this guy. I believe he's the best. And it's made mine and Summer's mind so locked in. But I tell you, you look at the last couple of years, like Bob said, you look at those leaderboards, we dominate those leaderboards. Our group, we've got the brokest group, I promise you, in LifeVantage. Now we've got 2 executive positions, but so do Bob and April. There's only a couple like that in the world, you guys. You guys are very blessed to have Bob and April as your upline. I'm telling you, because we walk in those same kind of shoes. And I remember we thought, well, let's focus on mindset. If 90% of this industry and even being successful is mine and 10% is mechanics, let's help our group get rid of fear. Let's help them deal with that fear that I know they're dealing with every day. And I'm going to tell every one of you on this call, if you're not inviting every day, if you're not doing something every day to kind of get this thing going for you, you still worry about what people think about you. You still worry about what people think about you. Shame on you. Nobody's ever died when I've shared this with them. Now, I did have a guy want to take a swing at me one time, and I went over the table after him before he was coming after me because he called us a scam. And he said, "You guys are sharing a scam with me." And my wife said, "Dude, what did you just say to me?" We were in an Italian restaurant in Montana. I came over the table after him, and him and his wife went running out of the building. And me and my wife sat down, and we enjoyed our dinner. I can tell you, nobody will talk down to me. I don't care. I'm not a big guy. I'm about 5'8", 180, or 170, but I stand my ground because I believe in what we're doing that much. People struggle so much with the invite. And if you guys have a problem, and this is when I'm going to really focus on this because I think it'll really help you guys. If you struggle with no-shows, like if you try to, you kind of do a little bit of an invite and you get a no-show, I'm telling you, your invite, they think they're going to have to buy something or do something. If you're getting a lot of no-shows, those people that you're trying to invite, they think you're going to want them to buy something or do something. So when we sell an invite, you guys, it's like, I just got like this project I'm excited about. I love your opinion. It's not threatening. It's not, I've used it. I've got this project I'm working on. I love your opinion. What are you doing tonight at 7 o'clock? I've done thousands of presentations with that exact same invite. Summers is a little bit different because her personality is a little bit different. But I sell that invite because I never get that. Very rarely have I ever gotten a no-show. But I also sell the exit. So after I do a presentation, and we third party, most of you guys know Candy Kreslak. She's an executive in our company. We helped her retire from nursing at the age of 38 in 10 months. She's a warrior. Now, she passed out her first phone call, her and Summer did. She passed out during the phone call, you guys, and blips turned blue, and Summer caught her and laid her to the ground. Summer finished the meeting, and then Candy woke up. What happened? Summer's like, you passed out. And Summer's like, did you die? Candy's like, no. And Summer goes, can you do it again right now? Candy's like, yeah, let's go. We did 28 meetings for Candy in the first 2 weeks, and she went MC1 her first month. We've never done another meeting now. 5 years later, we have never done another meeting. But we validate almost every call she does for like 5 minutes. When I get on to validate, I just make a friend. I want them to feel comfortable with me, right? And I edify the heck out of Candy because when she introduces me, she edifies the heck out of me. I back edify to her, and then she edifies the person she's introducing me to, and it's a home run every time. Now, if me and Summer, if I share this with somebody, now in the industry average, and I know Barbara and April probably know this for a fact, industry average, if you share this information with 10 people, on average, about 10%, 1 out of 10 will sign up. That's in the start, when you start in network marketing, that's the industry average, like 10%. Over time, me and Summer are like 70, 80% now because we've just gotten better over time. We literally have just gotten better over time. We know every objection they're going to come up with. And we're doing a presentation. When we present this information with people, you guys, I'm taking away all their excuses during my presentation. So when I go to do the follow-up, I go, dude, you're ready to go right now, right? Like, you get it. A lot of times when I'm doing a presentation, like on this call that I'm going to be doing in 20 minutes, I'm watching the screen. Let's just say that Bob and April are on my presentation at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And they don't even have to be in my business because there are a lot of people that plug into that call. And Bob texts me and says, hey, Rob, I got a buddy Joe getting on the call tonight. I go, is Joe married? What does he do for a living? And how many kids, does he have any kids? Because I want to be able to get into here, right? Not here, but here. I want to get into his heart during my presentation. Now, if you watch my presentation, it's almost the exact same presentation I've done for the last 7 years. But for 30 seconds, I'm going to say something during that presentation that I'm targeting Joe. And I'll even call Bob out or April out on the call. I'll go, hey, Bob, how's it going, buddy? Let's do some pickleball when we're down in Florida next week. Man, excited to see you in Dallas. By me calling Bob out on that call in front of 50 to 100 people every Monday night, and there's doctors on there because they have doctor right in their thing, I just handed him so much credibility because by the time I'm done, that guy knows I'm successful. And I added Bob just so much credibility to his new prospect that almost every time, I tell Bob, reach out to that guy as soon as I'm done and tell him I want to talk to him. And Bob say, hey, that guy that's on the call, that guy that's screaming and yelling all over the place, oh my God, like he's crazy, but the dude knows where he's going. He wants to talk to you right now. All those people on the call, he's picked you. He wants to talk to you. And then I get on a Zoom call and I talk with him and Bob. And I'll set up the follow-up. If I don't sign him up right there, I'll set up the follow-up for Bob to do the follow-up. Right there. Because when we're doing a Zoom, like if I'm on here right now, you guys, I'm watching your posture. I'm watching how you sit. I'm watching your reaction. And now I know a little bit about Joe that Bob wants me to talk to on this call for 30 seconds. When I'm giving my message, Summer's sitting by the side door. If Summer's talking, I'm sitting off to the side and I'm focusing on the new people. And I'm watching their posture. Guys, this is psychological. I'm watching. And as soon as Summer says something that I know that hit that new person, I reach out to the person that invited him. I said, you need to call that guy right now. Like, you'll literally see people answer their phone on our Zoom call because the person that's there calls them right now. Because they're ready. And so let's just get them going right now. But tell them I want to talk to them. And so we use that. And so when I sell the exit, it's the same way. I just say, hey, when I'm wrapping up a presentation, I say, hey, does anything I say, or if I'm on there with Bob and he validates for me, I go, is there anything Bob or me said that Like, are you interested in anything that we said? Because if not, I could care less. Like I'm good. Like I help thousands of people, up 20,000 people a month. If you don't want my help, that's okay. But if anything me or Bob said interests you, Bob's going to give out some more information. He's going to give you maybe a couple of videos, maybe a legal document that shows you the numbers, blah, 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 blah. And then let's talk tomorrow. Are you good with that? It'll take you 20 minutes to watch a couple of videos, look at the legal document. And Bob could send you thousands of videos, but enough for you to make an informed decision. And I go, you know why I know that? And he'd go, like, why? Because successful people make decisions very quickly. People that struggle in life take forever to make a decision. If they finally do make a decision, they change it because of fear and doubt constantly. What have I done subconsciously putting that in his brain? Everything that I say, I'm trying to subconsciously put something into their head. When I'm doing a presentation, I'm like a trial attorney. And I'll say something, go, you get that, right? Oh, yeah, Rob, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I go, wouldn't you like to be a partner with a company that's backed by the two largest investors in the world, that's debt-free, that did over 225 million last year with 22 million in the bank, and they were debt-free, rang the closing bell for the stock market twice in the last 5 years, and also backed by some of the most respected medical universities and medical institutions in the country? Would you like to be a part of something like that? Oh, yeah, Rob, why wouldn't I? No, yeah. All right, and so as I'm going, I get them to say yes 4 or 5 or 6 times during my presentation. Now, when I do the follow-up to get them going, or when I'm wrapping up my presentation, you're ready to go right now because I can tell by their posture, they're not going to tell me no because they're afraid to tell me no. Because they're thinking, God, if I tell this guy no, I just said subconsciously, I planted it in their brain as I'm talking and they're thinking about it. But if somebody ever does tell me no, you guys, because you guys get this sometimes. I know Bob and April have been in this industry forever. And I know they've gotten this because where people say, well, it's just not for me. You guys get that? You guys on here get that? Well, it's just not for me. I don't get that. I honestly don't get that. So when somebody tells me that, I go, but it's just not for you, really. So you're telling me you don't want to make more money? Oh, no, Rob, of course I'd like to make more money. Okay, hold that thought. If you're telling me you don't want to feel better, you want to maybe slow your aging process down a little bit, to kind of decrease some inflammation, maybe sleep a little bit better, maybe feel a little bit better, something, maybe digest. Like you're telling me you want to, no, Rob, everybody would like to feel better. Okay, hold that thought. And so then what you're really telling me is you don't want to have any time with your family. You don't want to spend any time with your family. You hate your family so much that you want to spend no time with them. So that's what you're telling me. No, Rob, I'd love to spend more time with my family. So wait a minute, this isn't for you, but you would love to spend more time with your family. You would love to feel better, slow your aging process down. And of course you would want to make more money, but you're telling me this is not for you. I just shared with you all 3 ways to get all 3. And it's the only way that I've ever seen to get that, you guys. Because I had lots of money. Like I had cake, but I didn't have time to eat it. This is the only industry where I said you could have cake and eat it too. And that's how I come across to people. Right? I am so freaking confident that they need me. Guys, they need you. You do not need them. When you approach people like that, your success rate will go 10 times higher. They need you. You don't need them. And I am so lucky. I take it away from everybody during a presentation. I even tell them at the end, like, dude, if you want to do it, great. If you don't, I could care less. I could care less. I find people that will replace you 3 or 4 times a day. That's how I talk to people. Marcel Niederhauser, like our group has been the top consultant enrolling group in the company for a lot of years. Consultant enrolling. I could care. The customers are great. 72% of our organization is customer base. We never hardly talk about product. Hardly. Well, during a presentation, I'll talk about, like ABC prime time and we'll do a lot of that. But what we're really good at is getting people to functions to go hear those doctors talk. Now, me and Summer came from a medical background. But I don't talk it to my group because I want them to be able to duplicate what I do. Like I'm on a WhatsApp site right now and all they're talking about is product. It freaking drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Guys, now this is where you might want to shut this up, Bob, but I am telling you, product don't sell people. People sell product. Did you guys know that there's other billion-dollar companies in this industry that have absolute junk for product? If this company was going to be a billion-dollar company, we would have got there with Protandim. How come we're not there yet? Oh, me and Bob and April could have a conversation about this for a long time because I know what they'd say because they think like us. But I am telling you, this company has become such a customer enrolling company. They've got away from consultants that actually go. Candy's led us to over 3,000 people. 17 autoimmune medications, $4,000 a month. If Summer would have approached her with product, Candy would have never said yes. She would have not been in this business, guys. But Summer approached her with an opportunity. She talked about product, but she showed Candy that she could change herself because Candy gave up on feeling good. She'd been on medications her whole life. Nothing's going to help me. That was her mindset. And once Summer found that out, 5 minutes in the conversation, Summer hit her with all of it. But she says, Candy, I think there's a way that we can really change that. You seem like you're in a lot of pain. You seem this. Wouldn't it be better? Like if you didn't have to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week as a travel nurse, do you think you'd start feeling a little bit better? She was, God, yeah, Summer, I think I would. Well, let's go do that. Grab a hold of me and don't let go. Let's go change this screwed up world one person at a time. And so that's literally all we do, you guys. And be a professional. Be a professional. I don't care if you're doing social media or what, just be a professional. I'm telling you, though, if you're doing social media, you better plug them into a system after you get them involved. Because if they're just doing it through social media, they're never going to get off that hamster wheel. They will be on that hamster wheel forever. There's a lot of top social media people in this company. One of them I just seen announced 2 weeks ago that she's quitting doing social media because she can't get off the hamster wheel. Our volume, you guys, after the GLP-1 launch, I promise you, I would say about 97% of the executives that broke during the GLP-1 launch fell backwards. They're not executive anymore because they built their business off a product mindset, not a business mindset. Our volume has never done that. We've never built our business off a product launch. We've never built our business off an incentive trip. We've always done the same thing. So when there is an incentive trip, we win them all, right? Our group, we dominate everything because we keep the message simple, but we never change the message. When you keep changing the message all the time, what happens? People get confused. And if they're confused, they quit or do nothing. There's presidentials in this company I've been watching for a couple of years that change their message all the time. I love them, but I won't follow them even into a supermarket because I don't see, guys. That doesn't mean anything to me where they're at, right? That president, that's cool. They got there, but are they in the trenches like Bob and April? Are they in the trenches like Rob and Summer? Are they in the trenches like we are on a daily basis, working down in their group and helping their group? And none of them are. I like them, but I don't like me and Marcel are really good friends. We butt heads every day. Like we literally butt heads every day. Like he knows how to build this business and Tyler knows how to build this business, but I would argue with him every day outside this business when it comes to anything, investing or anything. Like I've helped them both with investment. I love them both, but nobody's ever did a meeting for me in Summer. Marcel and Tyler in our upline, you guys. Blue Elam's in our upline. Mark Shinsado's in our upline. Seth Mulder's in our upline. Seth didn't even know we were in his downline. None of them have ever done a meeting for us. They've never done anything to help us. Nothing. I think it's a good thing, though, because it made me and Summer be the type of people we are, the leaders that we are. Carrie Dickey came and lived with us for a week. She goes, I want to know what you two are doing. Like, I need to get to know you guys. Carrie's a good friend of ours. She came and hung out with us, and she's like, I've never seen anything like this in this industry. Like, it was really cool. But Carrie's never helped me build a business. She's a friend, but she's never helped us. You guys have got two leaders that are there. I think Kenneth and Annette are probably the top customer getters in this company. Like, I think they're the number one customer gatherers in this company. I don't even know if there's a close second. You guys have got a massive, awesome leadership base here. Just listen to them. Start duplicating what they do. If I was brand new and Bob and April were my upline, I would study them for a couple months. And I would slowly start to copy what they do. And if you guys ever hear Candy Kreslak talk, it's mine and Summer coming out of her mouth. When Candy talks, she just repeats what me and Summer say every day. That's literally all she does. So grab a hold of these leaders, you guys. I'm going to close it with this because you know when people say, I'd die for my family? You hear that a lot where people say, I'd die for my family. Really? You would really die for your family? You're in the most amazing opportunity I've never ever seen. Why wouldn't you die for something like that? Why would you not change those behaviors to be able to give your family the kind of life that they totally deserve? What is holding you back? What are you waiting for? Like, it's time to swing for the fence. Guys, we swing for the fence every day, and we miss 7 out of 10 times. But you know what? Batting in baseball, that's a 300 average, and that's about a $30, $40 million a year contract, and I'm okay with that. We have literally failed ourselves to financial freedom, you guys. And what we do is we teach our group how to make money. And they make a little money extra here, and we show them where to put it to compound their wealth. We literally help our group make money because these products are great, but if they can't afford them, they ain't going to buy them. And once a person gets on auto ship, very rarely do they get back on. We focus on helping our group make money. We just bought a lodge in Kentucky. We've got tons of property out west. We just bought a lodge in Kentucky. I've hardly ever been to Kentucky, but I saw something. I went out, I looked at it, I told the couple that owned it, I go, yeah, we want it. I said, but I got to fly back. I got to get my daughter, my wife. We're going to come back. I flew back one day, got in Vegas. We flew back out, talked to him that night in bed. Somewhere said, man, this is magical. I go, okay, let's buy it. But the way my offer was, I set it up where I threw some leverage income for that older couple because I heard him talk to a buddy of mine that he said, and he's 10 years older than his wife and they're older. He said, if something happens to me, I'd like my wife, Molly, to have some income coming in every month for 5, 6, 7 years. So my offer, I threw that leveraged income in on my offer. And they've had lots of offers, but they called us. We were sitting in our jacuzzi here in Vegas, and they called us the next night when I made the offer, and they said, wow, I don't know where you came up with the offer, but it's genius and it's amazing. It's exactly what we're looking for. We want you guys to have this property. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Like, if there's anything that we could ever do for you. Now, we're doing a Zoom presentation right now. As soon as we get off this call, you're welcome to get on. You're welcome to get on and see how we do a presentation because we hold no punches. We hold no punches. But you watch the chat section light up. People sign up right during the call. And you guys are welcome to get on. I'll text Bob that Zoom link if you want to get on. And
Would
we
you
do it every
read it off quick because everybody's got a pad and pen. What's your ID number for that?
Go ahead. 942-962-1689. And it's 20.
Well, it's capital H, 2023.
Capital H 2023. We had to put a password in because people were
But
logging on.
don't not generally need it.
Use it. If you just log on, you usually don't need it. But if you need it, it's HH2023.
But
And
capital-
text it to me too in case somebody texts me and I can forward it. Hey, can we show? They got to get on to me. Can we show them some love, folks? Please show them.
Thank you guys. Love you guys. Come up and say hi to us in Dallas.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
guys.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Go
Thanks,
do
Rob.
your thing.
Bye bye.
See you in Dallas.
Jumping on the other call right now.
Okay.
See you, Rob. See you soon.
Good night.
Hey, how great was that, guys?
Ooh,
Very great.
An hour.
smoking.
And he hung
Inspiring.
up and now he's logging in to do an op for
Amazing.
there, when we and again, I won't keep you longer. You got the world out of him and Summer. And they're just the real deal. And if you get an opportunity to spend some time with them, just do it, and just pick their brain a little bit. I mean, they're as real as it gets, and what you saw online, you'll see 100% the same thing in person. They just are what they are, and we love them, and it's just been fun because everybody needs a colleague that they can talk to when they need to talk to somebody, and I'm so glad they're one of them. So it's great. But anyway, we're gonna close it out. We can't wait to see all of you, or at least most of you, in Dallas in a couple days. And if you take Robin Summers' advice, we have that opportunity presentation coming up a week from Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next. Man, just fill it up. And I dare you to make us have to buy a bigger program with Zoom. just have so many on that the one that we have isn't big enough and we have to go up to their next one, whatever it is. But anyway, thank you so much for moving the schedule. You allowed me and April a couple days at the beach, and it worked out with Robin Summer. The whole thing was great. So have a great night. We'll see you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.